Let me ask you a brutally honest question. What does it really mean when a woman keeps finding reasons to touch you? Not once, not by accident, not in some obvious, over-the-top way, but in those small moments. A hand on your arm when she laughs, a playful push, a touch on your shoulder while she's making a point, fixing something on your shirt that didn't really need fixing, brushing against you, and then acting like it meant nothing. Because that is exactly where most men get confused. They either dismiss it completely, or they read way too much into it way too fast, and both mistakes kill the moment. Because not every touch means desire, but repeated touch, touch with timing, touch that keeps showing up when the energy is warm, that usually means something, and most men have no idea what. So today, you are going to understand what it really means when a woman keeps finding reasons to touch you, what she may be testing, what she may be feeling, and what her body is trying to understand before her words ever do. And the last sign is the one most men misread because it looks harmless, but psychologically, it changes the meaning of everything that came before it. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you will stop guessing and start reading the pattern underneath these moments. First, you need to understand this. Women often use touch as information, not just to express something, but to learn something. Because when a woman touches you in small, repeated ways, she is not only showing comfort, she is collecting emotional data. How you respond, whether you get nervous, tense, overreact, go too far too fast, or stay calm, warm, and grounded. And that is why touch matters so much. It is not always a message. Sometimes it is a test. A quiet one. A low-risk way of asking, what does closeness feel like with him? Can I be physically warm with him without it getting weird? Does he understand the rhythm, or does he destroy it the second it starts? And that is what repeated touch often reveals. Not automatic attraction, not automatic permission, but curiosity about connection. And curiosity is where a lot of attraction begins. The first sign is she touches you when the emotional energy rises. She does not just touch randomly. She touches at specific moments. When she laughs, when eye contact deepens, when the conversation gets playful, when something slightly more personal is said, when the mood lifts. And that timing matters because it means the touch is emotionally linked to the moment. And emotional linkage changes everything. Because a random social touch can mean very little, but a repeated touch that appears exactly when the energy gets warmer usually means much more. It often means her body is responding to the emotional charge of the interaction, and the touch becomes her way of participating in it, not always consciously, but naturally. And that is why men who pay attention to timing understand more than men who only notice the contact itself. Because it is not just, did she touch me? It is, when did she touch me, and why in that moment? The second sign is she uses small excuse touches that do not really need to happen. She straightens your collar, brushes lint off your shirt, touches your hand while showing something on her phone, lightly pushes your shoulder during a joke, adjusts something that did not need adjusting. And these touches matter because they are unnecessary. They are low-risk ways of creating contact without openly owning the reason, and that allows her to test closeness without exposing herself. Because if the moment goes nowhere, she can pretend it meant nothing. But if it feels good, she learns something. And repeated unnecessary touch is rarely random. It means physical closeness has become comfortable enough for her to keep reintroducing it. The third sign is she touches you and then watches what happens. And this is where most men fail because they focus on the touch and ignore the reaction after it. She touches you and then glances at your face, your body, your response. Not obviously, but enough. And that is feedback collection. She is reading whether you stay calm, whether you get stiff, whether you become too eager, whether the moment improves or becomes awkward. And that means the touch is not casual anymore. It has emotional meaning, and she wants to see if you can handle that meaning. The fourth sign is her touch becomes more relaxed over time. Maybe at first it was quick and playful, but over time it becomes more natural, longer, softer, less accidental. And that shift matters because it means your presence is becoming physically comfortable for her. Your energy is no longer disruptive. The touch no longer feels risky. Now it feels natural enough to repeat. And attraction often builds through repeated comfort, not intensity alone. The fifth sign is she touches you differently depending on the emotional tone. Because touch is emotional language. A playful nudge during a joke means something different than a softer touch during a deeper moment. A touch during laughter means play. A touch during a quiet conversation can mean trust. And a touch when saying goodbye can mean reluctance to break the connection. And when a woman touches you across different emotional tones, it often means the connection is moving beyond surface interaction into something deeper. The sixth sign is she stays close after the touch instead of correcting it. Because sometimes the biggest signal is not that she touched you, but that she did not create distance afterward. She touches your arm and stays there. Her shoulder brushes yours and she does not move away. Her hand lingers and she lets the silence exist. And that matters because if the touch created discomfort, she would reset the distance. But if she lets closeness remain, it means the moment felt good enough to continue. And this is where many men ruin it by rushing mentally into outcome instead of staying present. Because staying close means comfort and curiosity, not instant permission. And the seventh sign is she touches you in quieter moments when she does not have to. And this is the most powerful one because it happens in stillness, when the conversation slows, when the energy softens, when there is no noise to hide behind, and she still touches you. Something small, something soft, something that could have been avoided, but was not. And quiet touch often means emotional closeness is forming, because loud moments are easy, but stillness reveals truth. And when touch appears in quiet moments, it often means the connection is no longer surface level. Now it has emotional weight. So here's the pattern. She uses touch to test closeness. She introduces it in emotionally warm moments. She creates low-risk excuse touches. She watches your response. Her body becomes more comfortable over time. Her touch adapts to different emotional tones. And she allows touch even in quiet moments. And the key is not one touch, but the pattern. Because one touch can mean anything, but repeated touch with timing, warmth, and comfort behind it usually means something is building. And the most important part is this. Your job is not to jump on every touch, not to assume attraction, not to treat it like a signal to escalate immediately. Your job is to stay calm, to read the moment, to understand how the touch fits into the emotional flow. Because underneath all of this, she is asking one question. Does closeness with you feel good enough to keep exploring? And the men who answer that best are not the most aggressive. They are the most emotionally calibrated. They do not force. They do not freeze. They allow the moment to deepen naturally. And that is what builds trust. That is what creates tension. That is what makes her want to touch you again. And if this changed how you see these moments, subscribe, because in the next video, I'm going to show you the subtle ways a woman tests emotional and physical chemistry before she ever admits attraction. And once you see those signs, you will never read repeated touch the same way again.